But hold on, Miss Campbell, it gets even better than that. Because later on in the statement, Miss White says this: the witness, that's Carol White, said that throughout the dinner, Miss Campbell and Mr. Taylor were mildly flirtatious with each other. The witness heard Mr. Taylor tell Miss Campbell that he was going to send her diamonds. Taylor and his people were staying some distance away, so it was arranged that he would send some men back with the gift. Is that true or false?
That's not true at all.
It's a lie, isn't it?
I was sat next to Mr. Mandela, and the conversations, if there was a conversation about diamonds, it wasn't to me. We spoke about what I was doing for the Children's Fund. I remember Mr. Mandela explained to Mr. Taylor what I did for the Children's Fund.
Because this morning you've already told us that you did not specifically speak to Charles Taylor that evening, did you?
I spoke in general. I was interested about Liberia. I never heard of it before. And he said he was the president of Liberia.
But you flirting with Charles Taylor, that's a complete lie, isn't it?
As I said before, when I'm with Mr. Mandela, and I think everyone in the world feels the same way, my attention and focus is with him. And it's an honor to be in his presence and to be with him in his house.
Forgive me if I press you a little further on this, Miss Campbell, but I would like a straight answer. This is a lie, isn't it?
Correct.
Thank you. Now this. Do you remember me asking you right at the outset whether you gave Charles Taylor your telephone number?
Correct.
Listen to this. Miss Campbell seemed excited about the diamonds, and she kept talking about them with the witness. That's with Carol White. After this dinner, Miss Campbell and Mr. Taylor were somehow in communication.
No, I didn't have any communication at all.
So again, this is a lie,
And I
isn't
didn't
it?
give my phone number.
Again, this is a lie, isn't it?
It's not accurate, no.
Nodding the head doesn't go down on the record.
No, it's not.
It's a lie, isn't it?
Correct.
Thank you. Then this. That night, it got to be very late, and all of the guests had retired to their rooms. The witness heard something hitting her window that sounded like pebbles, and she looked outside and saw two men. The men said they had something for Miss Campbell. The witness did not know how they knew which room to alert, or if they just happened to pick a window that turned out to be hers. She alerted Miss Campbell, who was excited and wanted to open the doors. But the witness was nervous to let the men in, as all the other guests had retired, and there seemed to be no guards or staff present. After looking unsuccessfully for any guards, the witness, that's Carol White,
You're watching live coverage here on Al Jazeera of the British model Naomi Campbell being cross-examined by Defence Counsel for the former Liberian President Charles Taylor. The lawyer's name is Courtney Griffiths. Behind him, he's the man on the right there. You can just see the head of Charles Taylor himself watching as this testimony is being given. Now, Campbell is being asked about claims made that Taylor gave Campbell an uncut diamond or diamonds after a dinner party hosted by Nelson Mandela in South Africa in 1997. The prosecution is saying that the testimony could provide evidence Taylor received diamonds from Sierra Leone rebels in exchange for weapons during the 10-year-long civil war. Taylor is facing 11 charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity during the war. Campbell is saying that she did receive a gift of dirty-looking stones, as she called them, after attending that dinner, but stopped short of saying that they were diamonds or that she was given them by Taylor himself. Let's listen further to what she's saying.
It's 13 years ago.
let's just take it in stages. Who opened the door to let the men when they knocked?
To my bedroom door, I opened my bedroom door.
Did Miss White open it?
No, she was not in my room.
So Miss White is lying about that, isn't she?
Yes.
Likewise, were the men invited in to sit down and have Coca-Colas?
I don't know. I was sleeping.
Yeah, but did you invite the men into your room and offer them Coca-Colas?
No, I did not.
And did you open the package that night and look at the contents?
No, I opened it in the morning and looked at the contents.
So she's lying about that as well, isn't she?
Correct.
And this detail, the witness thought Miss Campbell was disappointed. Were you expressing any sense of disappointment to Carol White?
No, I did not, because as I said before, when I'm there to raise funds for a charity and I'm working, I would never have kept anything like that. That if I could give it to raise money for the children, that's what I would do, and that's what I did. That was my intention.
Now also this. The witness thought about the diamonds all night. That's Carol White. She knew it was illegal to take diamonds out of South Africa, although she doesn't really now know how she knew that. Now, pausing there, was that something within your knowledge?
No.
And did Carol White discuss with you or suggest to you that you were acting in some way illegally
No.
by accepting this gift?
No, she didn't.
The next morning, the witness and Miss Campbell and others boarded the blue train. Now just help me with this detail. You told us you were late for breakfast the following morning.
I'm always late.
And when you went downstairs, just picture the scene at breakfast for us. Were me and Farrell and your then agent, Carol White, sitting together at the breakfast table?
Yeah, I think some people had had their breakfast, like I said before, and some were still to come down.
But the two of them were
At the
sitting
breakfast
together,
table.
and you went and joined them.
Correct.
Now what she says is this. Boarded the blue train, the witness knew they had the diamonds, and she figured that she would probably be the one who wound up holding them and carrying them. She told Miss Campbell that she didn't think they should keep the diamonds. It could result in a scandal or even prison.
It's not correct, because I looked for Jeremy. I had them, and I gave them to Jeremy Ratcliffe.
But just taking matters in stages, did you have any such conversation with Carol White?
No.
The witness and Miss Campbell discussed the matter and decided to give the diamonds to Mr. Mandela's charity because they could do some good. That evening or the next day, the witness and Miss Campbell went to see Jeremy Ratcliffe in the train compartment he was sharing with his wife. Is that correct?
No, I gave the stones to Jeremy when I got on the train. Immediately I looked for him, gave them. But I'm not, as I said earlier, I don't recall if I gave them, because I'm not remembering if he was at the house to pick us up or if he met us at the train station.
Mr. Ratcliffe ran the Children's Fund at that time. The witness, Miss Campbell, and Mr. and Mrs. Ratcliffe were in the compartment when Miss Campbell gave the diamonds to Mr. Ratcliffe, who was horrified, but he reluctantly took them. Was Carol White present when you gave the pebbles?
I don't recall that she was, but she could have been, but I don't recall. It's 13 years ago.